I stared at the text on my phone, my hands shaking. I did it for attention. It read. My best friend, the one I'd trusted with everything, had been spreading rumors that I was cheating on my partner. All for sympathy. All for likes. All for a lie. I was folding laundry when my phone buzzed. It was Liam. We'd been friends for 10 years, but something felt off lately. His messages were shorter, his calls less frequent. I opened the text, and my heart dropped. I did it for attention, it said. My mind raced. What did he mean? I called him immediately, but it went straight to voicemail. I looked around my flat, the walls suddenly feeling too close. How could Liam betray me like this? The next day, I went to my favorite pub for lunch. The moment I walked in, I felt eyes on me. Whispers followed. I heard my name, then the word cheater. My stomach churned. I sat in the corner, trying to ignore it, but the stares were unbearable. I left my sandwich untouched and rushed out. How had this started? And why was Liam's name the only one I could think of? I couldn't wait for Liam to call back. I showed up at his flat, knocking until he answered. His face went pale when he saw me. Emma, you spread rumors about me, I interrupted. Why? He looked down, avoiding my eyes. I was jealous. Everyone loves you. I wanted some attention too. I felt like I'd been punched. You ruined my life for attention. I shouted, my voice echoing in the hallway. Sophie came home late from her shift. I tried to act normal, but she saw right through it. What's going on? She asked. I told her about the rumors, about Liam's confession. Her eyes widened. Is it true? She asked, her voice trembling. No, never, I said, pulling her close. But the doubt in her eyes stayed, like a crack in a mirror I couldn't fix. The next day, Liam showed up at my flat with a notebook. I wrote down everything I said, everyone I told, he said, his voice shaking. I'm so sorry, Emma. I was selfish. I didn't think about how it would hurt you. I took the notebook, flipping through the pages. Names, dates, conversations. It was all there. But could I forgive him? Mrs. Carter, my nosy neighbor, cornered me at the grocery store. Heard about you and that bloke from work, she said, smirking. Shame, really. I wanted to scream. How had it spread so fast? I walked away, my cart abandoned in the aisle. Liam's notebook was in my bag, a reminder of how far his lies had gone. Jake, Liam's co-worker, messaged me out of the blue. We need to talk, he said. Over coffee, he admitted he'd heard Liam bragging about the rumors at work. He thought it was funny, Jake said, shaking his head. I didn't know it was about you. I thanked him, but inside, I felt hollow. How could Liam laugh about this? I called Mike, needing his blunt honesty. Cut him off, he said without hesitation. Friend or not, he crossed the line. I sighed, staring at Liam's notebook on the table. It's not that simple, I said. 10 years, Mike. He softened. Then make him earn your trust back. But don't let him off easy. Sophie gave me an ultimatum. If you keep him in your life, I'm out, she said. I can't be with someone who lets people walk all over them. Her words stung, but she was right. I'd been so focused on Liam, I'd neglected her. I'll handle it, I promised. Pulling her into a hug, I stared at Liam's notebook, at the names of people I'd have to confront, at the lies I'd have to undo. It felt impossible. But I couldn't let this define me. I picked up my phone and started typing. We need to talk, I wrote to Liam. But this time, I'm in control. I spent the weekend mapping out a plan. I listed everyone Liam had talked to, every place the rumor had spread. I'd confront them one by one, starting with the biggest offenders. It felt like preparing for battle, but I had no choice. Sophie's ultimatum echoed in my mind. I couldn't mess this up. Mrs. Carter answered the door with a smirk. Emma, darling, what a surprise, she said, her tone dripping with fake sweetness. I know what you've been saying, I said, cutting her off. And it stops now. I'm not a cheater, and you know it. Her smirk faded. Well, I just repeat what I hear, she mumbled. Then start hearing the truth, I snapped before walking away. The rumor had reached my workplace. I pulled my team aside during lunch. I know what's being said, I started, my voice steady. It's not true. If you have questions, ask me. Don't believe gossip. They nodded, some looking embarrassed. Word spread quickly after that. The whispers didn't stop entirely, but they got quieter. Liam showed up at my flat unannounced. Please, Emma, let me help, he begged. I'll do anything to fix this. I sighed, stepping outside. You want to help? Start by telling everyone the truth. Publicly. He hesitated. I don't know if I can, then get out, I said, closing the door in his face. That night, Sophie held me as I cried. You're doing the right thing, she whispered. I'm proud of you. Her words were a balm to my raw emotions. For the first time in weeks, I felt like I could breathe. But the fight wasn't over. Liam finally agreed to make a public apology. He stood in the park where the rumor had started, reading from a script I'd written. I lied about Emma, he said, his voice shaking. She never cheated. I made it up for attention. I'm sorry. The crowd murmured, some looking shocked, others disgusted. I watched from a distance, feeling a small sense of victory. The apology didn't fix everything. People still stared, still whispered. But the tone had shifted. Some approached me to apologize, to say they'd been wrong. It was a start. I kept my head high, reminding myself I'd done nothing wrong. Mike came to visit, insisting we go out for a drink. You're handling this better than I would, he admitted. Thanks for not rubbing it in, I joked. He clinked his glass against mine. Anytime. But seriously, if you need to punch something, let me know. Sophie started pulling away again. I heard someone at work still talking about it, she said, her voice tight. I don't know if I can keep doing this. My heart sank. I'm trying, Sophie. I am. She turned off the water, drying her hands. I know. But it's not just about you trying. It's about everyone else believing you. I hit my breaking point one night, sobbing on the couch. The weight of it all, the rumors, Sophie's doubt, Liam's betrayal, felt too heavy. I texted Mike, I can't do this anymore. He called immediately. You're stronger than you think, he said. But it's okay to take a break. Come stay with me for a few days. Mike picked me up the next morning. Fresh air will do you good, he said, turning up the radio. The drive was quiet, but the silence felt comforting. As we left the city behind, I felt a tiny weight lift. Maybe this was what I needed. Distance. Mike took me to a village he'd visited as a kid. The locals smiled and waved, their accents thick. No one knew me here, and no one cared about rumors. I felt invisible in the best way. We stopped at the pub, and Mike ordered us pints. To new beginnings, he said, raising his glass. Back at Mike's, I found a letter in the mailbox. It was from Liam. I'm going to therapy, he wrote. I realize how messed up I've been. I don't expect you to forgive me, but I want you to know I'm trying to change. I crumpled the letter, then smoothed it out. Part of me wanted to believe him, but the other part was tired. Sophie called that evening. I miss you, she said, her voice soft. I'm sorry I've been distant. I don't know how to handle this. It's okay, I said, though my throat felt tight. I miss you too. We talked for hours, neither of us ready to hang up. The next day, Mike dragged me to the village fair. We ate sticky toffee pudding and laughed at his terrible aim with the ring toss. For a moment, I forgot about the rumors, about Liam, about everything. It was just me, my brother, and the sound of children laughing. That night, we sat by a bonfire. You can't keep running from this, Mike said gently. But you don't have to face it alone. I poked at the fire with a stick. I'm scared, Mike. What if it never goes away? It will, he said firmly. Because you're stronger than the lies. After a few days, I knew it was time to go back. Mike hugged me tight at the station. You've got this, he said. Call me if you need anything. I boarded the train, staring out the window as the countryside blurred into the city skyline. My first day back at work was awkward. Some co-workers avoided me, while others went out of their way to be nice. I focused on my tasks, refusing to let their whispers get to me. By the end of the day, I felt exhausted but proud. Sophie was waiting for me when I got home. "I've been thinking," she said, handing me the flowers. "I want to support you, not doubt you. Let's start over." Tears welled up in my eyes. "I love you," I said, pulling her inside. That night, we played a board game, just like we used to. Sophie won, of course, but it didn't matter. What mattered was that we were together, rebuilding what had been broken. I still had a long way to go, but for the first time in weeks, I felt hope. Work became my sanctuary. I threw myself into a new project, designing a campaign for a local charity. It felt good to create something positive, something that mattered. My boss praised my ideas, and for the first time in months, I felt like myself again, the version of me before the rumors. Jake texted me to meet up. "Liam's been keeping his head down," he said, sliding his phone across the table. "He's not talking about you anymore. I think he's actually trying to change." I nodded, surprised. Good for him. But it doesn't change what he did. One afternoon, there was a knock on my door. It was Mrs. Carter, holding a plate of cookies. "I'm sorry, dear," she said, her voice low. "I shouldn't have spread those rumors. I was just bored, I suppose." I took the cookies, surprised. "Thank you," I said. "It means a lot." My friends dragged me out for a night on the town. "Enough moping," they said. We danced, sang karaoke, and laughed until our sides hurt. It was a reminder that I wasn't alone, that I had people who loved me, rumors or not. One evening, Sophie got down on one knee. "I know it's been a rough few months," she said, her voice trembling. "But I want to build a future with you. Will you marry me?" Tears streamed down my face as I nodded. "Yes. 1,000 times. Yes." We told our parents the next weekend. My mum cried, my dad hugged Sophie, and Sophie's parents toasted us with champagne. It felt like a fresh start, a new chapter for all of us. Wedding planning took over our lives. We debated venues, colors, and guest lists. It was chaotic but fun. Sophie wanted a big wedding. I wanted something small. We compromised on a medium-sized affair in the countryside. Liam texted me out of the blue. "Can we talk? Just once. I need to know you're okay." I hesitated, then typed back, "Meet me at the park tomorrow." Liam showed up on time. "I'm in therapy," he said immediately. "I'm learning how to deal with my insecurities. I wanted you to know I'm not the same person." I studied him for a moment. "I hope not," I said. "But we're not going back to how things were." As the weeks turned into months, life slowly returned to normal. The rumors faded, replaced by wedding plans and work projects. I still had moments of doubt, but they were fewer and farther between. I was moving forward, one step at a time. We visited the wedding venue, a charming manor nestled in the Cotswolds. The gardens were in full bloom, and the ballroom sparkled with fairy lights. "This is it," Sophie whispered, her eyes shining. I squeezed her hand, feeling a surge of excitement. This was really happening. My first dress fitting was surreal. The gown hugged me in all the right places, and Sophie's smile made my heart swell. "You're going to be the most beautiful bride," she said, her voice thick with emotion. I twirled, laughing, feeling like a princess. Sophie and I debated whether to invite Liam. "His family," she argued. "But he hurt me," I countered. In the end, we decided to send him an invitation. It felt like closure, whether he came or not. My friends threw me a hen party at a spa. We got massages, drank champagne, and told ridiculous stories. It was exactly what I needed, a reminder of the love and support around me. A week before the wedding, I had a moment of panic. What if the rumors resurfaced? What if I wasn't ready? I called Sophie, my voice shaking. "It's normal to feel this way," she reassured me. "We're in this together." The rehearsal dinner was perfect. Mike gave a toast that had everyone in stitches, and Sophie's mum cried during hers. Liam showed up, sitting quietly in the corner. I nodded at him, acknowledging his presence but keeping my distance. I barely slept the night before the wedding. My mind was a whirlwind of thoughts, excitement, nerves, and a lingering fear of the past. But as the sun rose, I took a deep breath. Today was about love, not rumors. Walking down the aisle felt like walking into a new life. Sophie's smile was my anchor, her love my strength. When we exchanged vows, I felt every word in my soul. I choose you, I said, today and every day. Our first dance was to a song we'd loved since we met. Sophie whispered in my ear, "We made it." I leaned into her, feeling safe and whole. The past felt distant, like a faded memory. The next morning, we left for our honeymoon. As we drove away from the manor, I felt a sense of peace I hadn't known in years. The rumors were behind me, and ahead was a future filled with love, laughter, and endless possibilities. Our honeymoon was everything we'd dreamed of. Lazy days on the beach, exploring ancient ruins, and dancing under the stars. It was just us, no distractions, no rumors. For the first time, I felt truly free. Coming home was a mix of excitement and nerves. We'd been gone for 2 weeks, and I wondered if the rumors had resurfaced. But as we walked through the airport, no one stared. It was just another day. Unpacking felt like starting a new life. We arranged wedding gifts, hung pictures from the honeymoon, and cooked our first meal as a married couple. It was ordinary, but it was ours. Returning to work was surreal. My co-workers threw a mini celebration, and my boss gave me a raise. The rumors were never mentioned, and I realized people had moved on, just like I was trying to. Mike showed up one evening with a surprise, a golden retriever puppy. "Meet your new fur baby," he said. We named her Luna, and she quickly became the light of our lives. We started taking weekend trips, exploring the UK together. Each adventure felt like a reminder of how far we'd come. The rumors felt like a distant memory, overshadowed by new experiences. Another letter arrived from Liam. "I'm moving abroad," it said. "I just wanted to say goodbye and wish you both happiness. I'm truly sorry for what I did." I folded the letter, feeling a strange mix of relief and sadness. We started a small garden in our backyard, planting flowers and herbs. It was therapeutic, watching something grow from our hands. It felt like a metaphor for our lives, slow, steady, and beautiful. I took on a new project at work, designing a campaign for a mental health charity. It felt meaningful, like I was giving back. Sophie supported me every step of the way, cheering me on from home. On our first wedding anniversary, we stayed in. We cooked dinner together, watched our wedding video, and danced in the living room. It was simple, but it was perfect. We'd come so far, and I knew this was just the beginning.